All right, so welcome back. Okay. Oh my God, I can't believe if you've listened this far, pup, you must be a zombie by now. Okay, um, so I move on to a new load order. That's going to be this one, so we're going to bring this up. And if you look, it's already dropped down to 71% stability, and that's okay because I'm trying to figure out, and you can see there's quite a lot of crashes. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Why am I getting these crashes now? What is causing this? All right, so I actually had if you notice, I still have that problem. Crash before loading screen. So what that means, once again, is the game started. I have a black screen. Reshade shows at the top, and then I have this little loading icon and the little Fallout 4 icon in the lower right hand corner, but that freezes. And then usually it'll freeze until everything is done. Then it will show me that TV monitor, that countdown, and then it'll go like dun dun dun, that whole kind of Fallout stuff. Well, it crashes in the middle of all that. So something is executing in there causing the crash. And normally I wouldn't get that little loading icon in the bottom. So it's almost like the game is trying to go forward, but it can't because either Robco is not done, which I think it's relating to either Reshade, Robco, or something that's happening before all this stuff gets started. So conceptually it's cool, but there's other things that might be happening in parallel because there's a lot of DLLs running here. Some won't really matter until certain things, like fine zoom is not going to come into play until you have a scope up and you're using the mouse wheel, things like that. Also, so not all of these are going to apply, but some might. To your face is no longer, that's disabled. I don't have that crash anymore. Once I took that out, I did not have that crash again in Red Rocket. Um, I did add an armor penetration bug fix, and I did add what was it called? It's let's see if I can locate it pretty quick. I do have the nav mesh cut, that one's added. I do have papyrus. That shouldn't come into play unless you actually call it functions. Long loading time fix, that's added. Um I think the cat's getting ready to jump on my desk again. Let's see. There's one more. Well, I mean, of course, Robco Patcher's been in there. Um, it was something that extends. I added something to extend the papyrus. Um, and there was one more. But I can't really think of it. Okay, so I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time looking at that. But there's one more, so you can see there's quite a few DLLs that's added. I had one that's a long loading time fix. I already got that one. Yeah. Okay. So I did add some mods. So we'll just put these overlays in just so you can see. So, and these are only active mods. Okay, so you can see I start playing again, and guess what? Yeah, there's some people. There's again, Robco had an update. I added that. Concord, blah, I added that. This was a DLL, added that. Locational damage, added that. But here we go again. So a crash before loading screen. So this problem hasn't been solved. Again, this could be a reshade or a mitigation issue between DLLs running, like I said previously. So I thought, okay, let me see if I can start disabling things that I'd added. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna disable that. Nope, crash before loading screen, crash before. Okay, so maybe it's trying to compile too many shaders. So I tried removing a lot of the excess shaders, and I tried removing player comments. That it didn't like that. Of course, I put them back in. See, and then the patches and all that put back in complex sorter, because again, complex sorter actually has that as a master, right? So if you look at it, there should be see, it has player comments as a master, so this thing has a lot of files as a master. um, and it might be possible. Well, I don't think so. I was gonna say, I wonder if we hit the 255 limit for that, but I don't think so. I had to do some quick coding to kind of put some checks in there. All right, so let's take a look at this. Yeah, you can see I added all that stuff again. All right, now I'm getting loose file stream, loose file stream, loose file stream, and then the ghoul started to smack me again. Same thing. He did this dive and leap, hand in air. He looked like he was trying to do a high five. Game froze, and it crashed again. All right, so I'm like, okay, so we still have that problem, so let's keep looking. And this is when I thought of it. I had updated better locational damage at least 4 or 5 times, at least 4. And these patches for better locational damage, which I'd never really added before, I just happened to find them and think, oh, it's a patch for better locational damage, let's throw it in. I thought, you know what? These patches are there for a previous version. Plus, I use the better locational damage Robco patch. So I shouldn't really need these patches. So I thought, let me take these out. Let me take these patches. So this one I'm like, okay, the patch needs to be for the exact version of the mod. And I mean, that's a given. True, that's a given. But I'm like, but again, you have so many things going on. I've got coding. I kind of try to help a little bit on the forums. I've got work. I've got things like that, and it takes up a lot of time. Plus, sometimes I like to just go sit outside and look at how beautiful the sky is. So it just so it just doesn't come to mind. So I kind of forget about that or don't think about it. So I took this out, and that seemed to have solved that problem, because if you notice, after I took those out, there's no crashes. Now, again, I begin to update meshes, sup. Again, Robco Patcher. I believe I just reinstalled this because, or it updated it, not sure. Now here, it looks like I added these. Again, where it's got Flora. I did update this. If you look at it, I did copy it, so it is installed, but over here, it is not. So it is not, see here, see where it's got the full, okay, it is not. So this is going to be for the next playthrough. I'm going to test these mods out. Now the complex sorter, I did put this, this is a script, so it doesn't directly affect anything until I actually use it. This is Anims for MAME 3. I got this off his Discord server. This is the successor to MAME 2. This is what I've been trying. I added a fishery. It's a really cool looking fishery for settlements. But again, it is not, I don't know if I can type in fishery or not. Yeah, see, it is not active. But combat AI empowered, I did. Now, if you notice, I got another crash. So it is a crash before a loading screen. So by removing these, because I shouldn't need these with the Robco patch for BLD. No virtual machines. I'm 8 hours in, coming on like 8 hours in, and I get the crash. So I'm back. So now I have my original, my loading screen crash. Again, it's the same thing I described earlier, which has existed for 2 load orders back. And another thing I wanted to show you was over here. Do you see where it says suspended stack? See, it's got suspended stack. What this is just a report that looks, it takes the timestamp of a game session, right? So, like, I'll go down here where I know there's a game save. So if you take a look here where it says 55 errors, I can bring up a game save. Okay, let's see. So you can see a game save. So I can look and say, oh my God, there's 55 errors when it went to load. I can look at it and say, okay, there's 2 unattached instances. That seems to be normal. There's no, I got 2 suspended stacks. And then I've got no suspended stacks there, and I've got 19 active scripts. So this way I can kind of very easily go in and look at game saves that's associated with something. These are all removed or archived off. I do archive game saves. I delete them now because I don't really care about them, but and I've deleted them, but they see, you can see here they are archived off. See, so these are all archived, and where I'm at, So, and I can go in and delete these if I usually delete them, but and I only keep like so many files. The most I can keep is 10 of a particular character. These probably was something. We'll just refresh this real quick. Yeah, there we go. So those were probably tallies, or it moved off onto something else. It's like a bug where I actually move these from here down to one of these libraries. All right, so but you can see that we're over here looking at suspended stacks. So I noticed a while back I started getting these weird pauses. Like I'd be moving, it would freeze for just a fraction of a second, then take off. Like that's got to be a suspended stack. That's indicative of a suspended stack. So I went in to take a look, and lo and behold, you can see suspended stack. And this happened about 22. This is about 822. And if you look over here, I actually removed those. I was getting what you can't see here is further back, and I wish this used to go back further, but what I do is if I cannot map this to an actual papyrus entry, because I want to be able to go in here, I can't guarantee this will work, but I want to be able to go in and, yeah, so, oh, here we go. So if I can't map it to a particular papyrus file, I delete it. And it's self-cleaning. In other words, this report cleans itself, but you do lose a lot of history, but you can't bring up the detail because it's rolled out of 0, 1, 2, and 3 papyrus files. So it just gets rolled out. So, but you can see, and these keywords you define, the user defines what you want it to look at, and then it'll look for those keywords and throw up the number of occurrences during that game session. So this is all per game session, which relates to a game session over here, is what it does. And these, well, let me rephrase that. These are all saves within a particular game session. So each one of these is associated with a save file. And usually when you have something like 14, 1200, this high of error count, it's when you're loading a game. But you can go in if you wanted to, and you could take a look and see if you can figure out what the errors are, right? Because it's just looking for the word error. You define it, and there's your errors. So, but when I had these particular mods in here, let's go back over to the manifest. I have to think here for a second, because we're doing this on the fly. When I had these particular mods in there, these patches, I had 1,200 suspended stacks. 1,200. And I got that twice. I'm like, good God, man, that's way too many. Like, what's up with this? And I noticed when I looked at them, a lot of them was BLD, which is better locational damage. Matter of fact, almost all of them, 99% of them, was BLD. And letting the game sit for a couple minutes would not clear it out. So I'm like, wow, this is jacked. So once I took these out, now this is still the same game, all of that suspended stack cleared. It's all cleared. You can see it's all gone. And I was getting it, it was there, and then it cleared out because I took this out somewhere around the 17th, and it cleared itself out. Because remember, those were actively running scripts. So it finally got itself cleared out. Now, you can see I play a little bit, and then I'll have to go do something else, come back and do some play testing. So it's kind of intermittent. I don't have the 4, 6, 7 hour play times I used to have. Okay, so you can see that the suspended stacks are gone. So this was part of the problem. So in your face was part of the problem, or to your face was part of the problem. I don't know why, but it was giving me an invalid reference. So whatever that DLL was trying to reference didn't exist. And I've seen it before where they try to do things outside of a game engine. It needs a specific instance. You assume in that specific instance specific data, specific structures is present, and it has to do with timing. I remember he did that with was it a loading screen? Yeah, I can't remember. I think Baca did it. I can't remember. It might not have been Baca, but one of them did it where, it was Condition Boy and Condition Girl. Had the same kind of weird problem because at first he didn't detect you were in a loading screen when he tried to access the Pip-Boy. Of course, the Pip-Boy reference is not there because it's been released. The graphics are released. The references don't no longer exist because you're in a loading screen. once it loads, it'll regenerate all those references. So he was still trying to display that crap, and then it would crash. So then because I remember he posted that he was having a hard time. It's difficult to detect when you're in a loading screen, and it might be simply taking a look at what's on the screen pixel wise. I'm not really sure. Or what's running on the stack frame. I'm not sure, but anyways, so I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to take this out. So to your face, disabling that, removing the patches for BLD, solved everything but the crash before the loading screen. But I did update SUP. Robco was updated. I added these. The only one I updated was Combat Empowered. Okay. So you can see where, let's see, is that correct? Let me see, because, yeah, I grabbed the wrong one. Yeah, I get this really weird kind of a thing that pops up. No idea why. Oh, it's down here. I'm sorry. It's the last one on the list. Yeah, that's why. It wanted to put it up here, but it couldn't because it's the last on the list. It's down here. So you can see that it replaced the file. See where it says replace? So that was where I updated. Everything else is just kind of installed. This was an update, probably an update, and then one update. So it cleared everything out. All that other garbage is gone. I've been to Sanctuary many times. I've been to Red Rocket, all over the place. I've used transfer settlements, which does seem to have a conflict with, I think, MAME. I believe it's MAME, because I think it's using the same animation number, because once I use transfer settlements and then I go from first to third person, my character will act like she'll go into like a sneak mode, then pop back up, and I can reload the game. So it's not a permanent thing. Somehow it's just it's some variable or data he's not resetting right. And then once I reload, it reloads all the variables, and it just doesn't get out of sync. Something gets out of sync in that process. And every time I lower the Pip-Boy, I give myself some kind of injection. I think it's like a light blue syringe. I don't know what the injection is, but it's something. Could be morphine. I don't have a clue. But you can see all that stopped. Now, so we looked over here to see the suspended stacks cleared out. So obviously the BLD patches were causing an issue. I still have one more patch in here, and it is a super mutant redux. So it's here. I think it's right down. It's an SMR. It's right here. See where it says BLD? I might need to take this out, because I believe Robco, the BLD Robco patcher, should handle this. So I don't think I need this. And that might solve some problems. Maybe it'll solve this, because I'm not sure what type, the crash in the loading screen, if Robco is trying to do its thing. I'm not sure. So to give you some more information, so we tried to see any particular type of errors that was in suspended stacks. That all stopped, or appeared to stop. I changed this on the 17th. So 5 days later, it all cleared out. And there is no, like, if you look now, there is no 1200. Let me see how many we have. We may have a couple. We have one now. All right. And the suspended stuff is nothing. This is the same thing. One's like an input layer. So you have like an input layer, no idea what this is, and it's always an object reference, so it may be normal part of the game. But if you go take a look at, let's see, this is gonna show me this mess again. Yeah, here we go. All right, so let's take this out, All right, so back over here. So I do have these. I don't know what this is. It's a flag. I'm not sure. This seemed to happen for BLD. This could be one that's left over. It could be something common. This could even be coming from Super Mutant Redux. I could take this out and this could disappear, because trust me, the suspended stack one was like 1200. It was through the roof. And this is the same game. So it all cleared itself out. All right, so that's cool. We've apparently, hopefully figured out two problems. One was they were missing sound files, which I had to check to make sure everything that was installed was actually installed. And then the next thing I did, well, and I installed the ones that were missing, and then the suspended stack pointed me to BLD, so I removed that. That seemed to clear that problem up. And I think the ghoul started smack player. That was due to, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was due to better locational damage. Because again, see where I took it out? I took this out here. So once I took this out, I'm hoping that fixed that particular issue, because I'm able to shoot ghouls now. They can smack me, hit me, I take damage, they jump in my face, I'm packing them around like some kind of weird, melting human backpack. And then and so hopefully that solved that. So out of date patches, missing files. So those are those two issues. One of the things we can look at is any files. So not any files, but logs. So I break down the logs. It's user configurable. Let's see if we can refresh this. It's user configurable. So so we'll take a minute because it's actually loading a lot of different files on a lot of different logs. But you can see, here we go. So usually if it hasn't started moving, it's actually loading, it's getting a directory, a list of files together it needs to process, and then this is where it's actually processing the files. But that, hopefully that'll get rid of the question marks. Those are file in use. That's when it's in use when I'm playing a game. Alright, so basically what I do is I look for warning and errors. Now here, this right here, notice this. This is the reshade thing. Alright, so let's open this up and let's take a look. Alright, there's a couple things you can configure to highlight. I want to highlight wherever it says like hook, so I can see what got hooked. And then you can see where the errors are. Here's your warnings. Right, so warning, basically it just says failed to load, failed to load. I remove these. I don't have God rays. I don't have these. I don't have pirate depth. I don't have these shaders anymore. I directly removed them. That's why you don't see them anymore down here. But there's nothing in here that would be like an error. See, it's a reshade, so that particular file is a reshade file that then passes through to and probably acts as an intermediary, because it passes through to the API. The API sends back to it, and that's how it does its post-processing. And then it sends that to the game, because the game thinks it's talking to DirectX when it's really talking to reshade. Okay, so I don't see anything there that might, there's nothing there that says major, this is going to be a problem. Okay, so that's that. Bash bug, this is where you do like a bash patch. The only thing is here is I've got this weird animation framework. I needed the animation framework. I don't really use it for like any kind of like really weird animations, but I do use it for like I need it for like to show like where you wrap bandages on your arm for animations that are outside of the normal game. You need it for that. But it looks like it's got a problem with the strings. Now, I don't know if this causes an issue or not. I'm not sure. So looking at the log files, this is the papyrus now, looking for certain things. So reshade, I don't see anything in there that stands out. Here's a reshade log. We can take a look at this. Again, you can see where it just says failed to resolve search path. Insane shaders. I think I removed these. Those are removed. I just deleted those. This I'm not sure. This might be something interesting because I do keep some of the UNIT. This might be where I got a failed. I actually have the header. There's like a definition header. I removed those by accident. I put them back in. So this may be where I put them back in. This could be where they're removed. I put them back in, so that's fine. If I keep seeing that, then there might be a problem. There's no other errors or warning body parts. I don't sure where this is. This looks like this is coming from common body parts. I'm not sure. This is a Tullius mod pack. I'm not sure about this unless this goes with looks menu. Um, but it looks like there may have been where it says warning created this. I'm assuming this body part was missing, so it automatically created that. So that would be something that might be a problem. It could have actually caught the problem, and then you can of course see these are the crash logs. These are all the crash logs, the buff out crash logs, and like I said, there's a bunch of them. MCM, I don't know why there would be warnings in MCM. We can take a look and see profiles as an unknown type and can't be registered, so maybe it's where pack attack changed. I'm not sure. So we have that. Okay, simple impact. This is one I thought was causing the problem at a particular time. Now you see where it says warning hit sound? I'm not sure why I would get a warning on this, but this could cause, this might be a problem. I don't know why there are warnings. See what it says headshot? So, and it's got a reference. Now this, I don't know, this could point back to a reference maybe in buff out 4, it's possible. But I don't see anything that would be really, I don't know if this means the file is missing. He just says warning, so I'm not sure what the warning is. I have no clue. It doesn't really give me more information. Let's see, uneducated shooter has some warnings. Camera insert. This is another interesting. See where it says leg and camera spine inserted created. This tells me that it's missing something. That this is trying to fill in missing data. Now this is just a guess. This is just a superficial guess based on what this says. Like calf. So see chest inserted. So inserted. So this almost like this is filling in missing data. Now, what concerns me about the missing data is it missing from the actual mod itself, or is the game for some reason getting out of sync, or is it not, is it trying to do something before it's ready, or something else? So this I don't know. It doesn't really tell you because it doesn't really say what that means. The mod author would probably have to fill me in. Let's take a look. We got 2 here in workshop. Let's see what this workshop identifier thing is. Okay, there are no, oh, the reason it picked it up because it had the word error in it. There are no errors in this workshop. There are no errors in this workshop. Okay, so I did, I checked the power grid. So see, that's what I did here. I checked the power grid. All right, so that's cool. And then of course you have the power slugs. These are massive. I'm not even gonna try to bring those up because I can use this over here to get windows. I can use this to actually get a window into the papyrus log. And that's about it. So the logs that I'm looking at doesn't really give me any additional information. So okay, so at this point, I'm thinking this final error here, this crash before loading, is because of reshade or something else running in parallel when it needs to run in series. Wait till one is done before another one, or somehow reshade is not jiving with the current AMD driver, because I do know I've updated AMD driver quite a bit, so that is definitely a possibility. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Sorry, it's going to be some pretty long videos, some long talking, but I wanted to be able to try and debug something using information that I could readily have. I don't have a decompiler here. I don't have any address mapping. Therefore, it severely limits me being able to trace issues and what they may or may not be, or even mapping structures back to actual, the memory addresses back to where a particular mod was loaded. So that does limit me quite a bit. But this is what the average user would have, other than the fact I've already summarized it in these little bitty forms here, these windows, you can call them windows. But this is stuff that's readily available to try to figure out exactly what's going on. So, heavily modded game. I believe I figured out missing files, patches that really shouldn't be used or completely out of date. making sure that your PRP is online with each other. Um, don't inline update certain things. I noticed when I was using SS2, when I would inline update, I would start having problems. Um, so, like I mentioned earlier, the only thing I could think of is go to an inside cell, like the cellar, sleep for 24 hours or 48 hours. Try to wait till everything clears out. And if you have your settlement set up to only update when you're there, then everything will be on hold. So there shouldn't be any scripts, like tons of scripts running. Try your update and then go there after everything clears out. You can use Resaver to just look to see how many active scripts you have. And once it calms down to about the least amount possible or as low as it's going to get, then exit your game and then try to do your update, update your SS2 stuff, because doing it at certain times when certain quests are running might not be a good idea, because I'm almost going to tell you with 100% certainty it's going to break something, because even though the data changes, the VM can do something weird. It could drop frames. It could just flat out drop frames, and that's going to desync everything. So it's really hard to tell. All right, so I'm gonna cut this short and chill for a little bit and figure out whether I want to play some more, which I think I do, or put more crap in this game. I think I want to put like an anti-material rifle, because I got these drones flying around, and good God, these things. Oh man, I get a headshot constantly, and when you get contusions, and it's like you can't run. Like, you can't run. Once you get hit, you have a contusion. You literally are crawling, so you can't run for cover, and you're dead. Um, so I need something I can take these. I can one shot these things. I'm thinking anti-material rifle, but I think I want to go like with maybe a makeshift anti-material rifle. So I'm gonna look around and see what exists. Definitely gonna throw my. I'm hoping for an ESL. If it's not, it's definitely gonna throw my load order for a loop. That could cause a problem. It may not. Don't know. Um, but yeah, so that's what I got so far. Thanks for listening. I hope that helps and listening to me quote quote drone on. But yeah, good luck, and I'll try to pop in and out and see if I can help where I can. I'm not going to be able to help too much with with the chapter 3 right now, because it's. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Nothing like really negative, but it's a little bit. Everything is. It's like it all in one giant mod. I would have broken it up into different mods. I'll explain all that stuff later. Like from a design perspective, how it would be easier to download updates, changes, things like that, rather than one giant lump. And then you can compartmentalize what you want. You can add on as much. You can have as much or as little as you need. I know you want. I know they want. I know the team wants to do that. Um, but it's one of the really. I mean, I know what it's like. I've been working on something for years, and it's like crap. I still got. I'm gonna change this again. It's like, dude, I don't want to change this again. But sometimes it's for the better. So and you just have to kind of grind on. All right, so I'm gonna cut everybody loose, and good luck with your game, and I hope you get it working.